In this lesson, we're going to discuss the pull method of publishing or server publishing. This means that the media players are actually making the inquiry into the server asking for new content or seeing if new content is available. Now, this is a more advanced method of publishing, so there's a little bit of a setup going on to get this method to work. What you first need to do is come up here to your preferences window on the dashboard. Check the use additional playlist feature, click OK, and then that'll allow you to add playlists. And we'll discuss that in a different lesson. So next what we need to do is get to our player manager. We'll have our Avalon SignMate right here for a university setup. And typically this is unchecked when you first add your player unit. So what we'll do is we'll check use server publish. We'll set our interval. We'll keep it at 5 minutes. And then we're going to come in here and choose the project at which we want to have it pull from. And there we go, and any playlists added to that, and we'll choose our library because this is our library unit, and then we'll hit save and make sure that it updates its settings. And got a password on this. Let me hit OK there, and there you go. So now this unit is ready to pull in the university project. With the pull method of publishing, the project that was assigned to the player unit still needs to be approved and published to the server in order for the player to be able to pull in that content. Let's get back to Composer. And we're on our demo university project that we selected for that particular player unit. And now we're just going to publish the project. We're going to choose our unit. It looks like it's already set there. We've got publish to server selected. And we're going to hit publish, and so this is sending it to the server and not the player unit directly. Now that the project has been published to the server, the media player will now pull in that content on that 5-minute interval that we initially set on the player setup. And again, you could change it up to 24 hours, every 3 hours. It's really up to you and how often you want that media player to check in for new content. Now, an example of the reason that you have to publish or approve the content before it gets pulled in by the media players, let's close this, let's get into the project, is say a designer was working on some content and didn't finish their design. You don't want that media player pulling in unfinished content and displaying that. So what you're always going to have to do is either publish that content or just think of it as being approved and ready to go for that server to pull that in. So instead of having people at each office manually send content directly to the player on the local network every time new content is ready, all players from all these multiple networks can check in simultaneously to a single server. What this does is it reduces employee workload as well as overhead costs for the business. So now organizations can manage a wide digital signage network all from a single location. The main benefits of using the pull method for publishing is that the media players don't need to be on the same network as your creation PC. They could be on different offices, different cities, or even different countries for that matter, all checking in and retrieving content from the server. To recap on using the pull method of publishing, remember that the media players themselves are checking into the server for new content that's available to be retrieved. Let's get back to our player setup here. We'll choose this unit. Now remember, you could choose the interval in minutes or hours of how often you want that player to check into the server. Make sure the use server publish is obviously checked. Make sure that the project that you want to be sent is selected, as well as any playlists. Now once that has been selected, again, you got to save that, and then let's get back to our project. And then anytime you create new content or add new content, be sure to come in here and either publish it or approve it, or you could even do that back on the main screen if I close this project with our publish project button here. Just make sure it's highlighted and then publish it. That just means that the content has been approved and ready to be pulled in or retrieved by the media players out on your signage network.